Thank you, Mr. Bedford. Good morning, now afternoon. I was delayed getting here because I was questioning Secretary Hegseth at an Appropriations Committee hearing that is in concurring time as this hearing. Doesn't diminish my interest in your nomination and your confirmation, but I did use that opportunity to question Secretary Hegseth about VIP or convenience flights from the Pentagon along the route that involves DCA. He assured me that there are no current authorizations, nor will there be an authorization for VIP or convenience flights along, quote, that route, referring, I think, to the route at Pentagon. He said that he and Secretary Duffy are in close coordination. I was hoping he would commit to making certain that there was no flights occurring until the FAA, Department of Transportation, determined there was a safe manner in which to conduct those flights. But the airspace control is the FAA's, is the Department of Transportation's, not the Pentagon's. Is that true?
Chairman Moran, thank you for the question and for just the hospitality in your office the other day. Thank you for that. My understanding is the FAA is supreme when it comes to the control of the airspace, but we want to be good partners with the Department of Defense, and we have protocols on how to do that, multiple protocols, as I understand. And as an aviator, you know, we create military operating areas, restricted space, prohibited space, line of fire space, alert zones. I mean, we have lots of ways we can accommodate, and we will accommodate the Department of Defense training needs, but we can't have this mixed-use traffic in Class B airspace. So I know Secretary Duffy is very passionate about this issue, as I would.
You would use the authorities you just described to make certain that whatever traffic was involving Pentagon flights involving rotary aircraft you would be certain they would be safe to do so before allowing them. True?
Yes, sir.
I've introduced legislation as a result of the crash of January the 29th on ADS-B. It's been a point of contention since the crash and since TSB's investigation. This legislation repeals the NDAA, our National Defense Authorization legislation that was passed some time ago. It had a provision in it that allowed the Secretary of Transportation to allow exemptions in enabling ADS-B in and out. And it also allows for the Secretary of Transportation to require the installation of ADS-B in. Your reaction to that topic and that kind of legislation?
So absolutely ADS-B in can be a significant safety improvement for the visibility of traffic because it incorporates the traffic that's on the ground. So if we look at the alerting systems that we have and we're relying on, even when we're using surface radars, it still requires the controller to be in the loop. So there's this process where it has to go to the tower and then from the tower to communicate. And we lose vital seconds on potential incursions and excursions. So, you know, the challenge we have out of the civil fleet, which I believe is close to 7,700 aircraft, we need to find a way to give all of them access. And I know that may be a controversial statement, but here's the good news. For the smaller aircraft, older aircraft that are currently unable to comply with ADS-B in, Collins, Honeywell, L3 have solutions now where we can get to something that's almost equivalent to ADS-B in on that rest of the fleet that today might not be able to adopt.
You would work with me and others to find that right solution?
Welcome that opportunity.
Thank you. One of the things that NTSB found that was somewhat astounding to me, their data decided in their preliminary report of the tragedy, there was some 15,214 close proximity events between commercial aircraft and helicopters that occurred over a three-year span. When we discussed FAA vulnerabilities in my office, you indicated organizational silos existed, and this might be an example of one of those silos in which the FAA aviation safety and the air traffic offices are not responding to what seems to me to be a pretty compelling case. If there's 15,000 close proximity events, someone at the FAA might want to do something different. and I highlight this, I don't know there's a necessary response from you, but I highlight that there are statistics that indicate those proximate events, but nothing, it wasn't a signal that we ought to be paying more attention to something.
So I'd like to say two things, if I may, sir.
Please.
One, to assure the traveling public that close proximity events are not in and of themselves a worry. It may be the fact that we've lost, the 3-mile, lateral separation can trigger a close proximity event. It's not necessarily indicative of a safety problem. The 85 near misses, on the other hand, are indicative of a safety problem and indicative of failure of the FAA's SMS system to detect that and mitigate it. So that absolutely needs critical assessment. And I will tell you, and as the team here from Republic would tell you, we have tools called FOQA, Flight Operations Quality Assurance, where we're doing a lot of data analysis on our systems, and we're using that to inform our training. I think the FAA could absolutely stand up something similar to that to help inform them of risks in the system that may not otherwise be detectable.
In a very quick moment, I just want to highlight the importance of the FAA contract tower program and see if you have an appreciation for what we're able to do in airports that would not have the circumstances to have a different air traffic control tower.
Well, thank you for the question, Chairman Moran. Unfortunately, you were occupied in the other hearing, so we did have a lot of conversation about contract towers and their necessity as part of facilitating our
You can just tell me I liked your answer and all.
I liked your answer.
All right, thank you. That I liked your answer.
I like my, okay. I'll cooperate you on with contract towers, they're important.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.